Islamic calligraphy is regarded as one of the most profound and significant artistic expressions in the Islamic world. It can even be said that the evolution of Islamic calligraphy is closely linked to the Quran because the kitab was conveyed and then written fully in Arabic, which is where calligraphy was born. Calligraphy played a central role in Islamic architecture, especially mosques. This is because visual images that could be worshipped were forbidden in Islam. Calligraphy is an integral part of the exterior and interior design of the vast majority of mosques throughout the Islamic world. Inscriptions in mosques are a sign of development and have a functional value and carry a message. Islamic calligraphy is indeed a major decorative feature in both traditional and modern buildings. The aim of the study is to analyze the usage and applications of Islamic calligraphy in the Sultan Salahuddin Abdulaziz Mosque located in Shah Alam. The objectives of this study are to grasp a deeper understanding of the use and application of Islamic calligraphy in the Islamic built environment, to introduce and provide an overview of diverse Islamic calligraphy styles and writings displayed in the mosque, to analyze the various materials and methods used to incorporate different calligraphy writings and scripts into mosques, and lastly to identify the differences of the Islamic calligraphy elements in different Islamic buildings.
Sultan Salahuddin Abdulaziz Shah Mosque, also known as Blue Mosque, is located in Shah Alam, Malaysia, and is regarded as the state mosque of Selangor, Malaysia. This mosque was commissioned by the late Sultan Salahuddin Abdulaziz on 40th February 1974 and is considered as one of the largest mosques in Malaysia. The mosque is known for having a dome that is blue and silver, thus earning its names of Blue Mosque. It was built with aluminium with its outer surface made out of enamel big trilateral steel panel decorated with Islamic calligraphy. Sultan Salahuddin Mosque is situated on a small hilltop surrounded by 35 acres of parkland that leads to a lake. The blue water from the lake beautifully reflects the splendor of the sacred building. It took a total of 14 years for the mosque to be completed, and it was inaugurated on 11th March 1988 by His Royal Highness himself, Sultan Salahuddin Abdulaziz Shah. This mosque was listed in the world record for having the tallest minaret in the world, dated back in August 1993, until it was surpassed by Hassan II Mosque. As of today, the mosque still holds the title of having the world's tallest minaret because of each tower rises above the ground. Since the British colonization of Malaysia has affected Malaysians' architecture, the utilization of domes in this mosque is also a result of British colonial influences. However, this mosque is not exclusively in colonial style. The design of the mosque was based on the architecture of Middle East and India. The reason why this mosque was selected as a case study is mainly because that we are intrigued by its implementation of the calligraphy of this mosque, where its placement is both on its exterior and interior. This feature alone makes the mosque unique and captivating, which has grasped our interest to learn more about this mosque further. The data was acquired through several methods such as first-hand observation, books, articles, and blog posts. Site visit was also conducted for the purpose of collecting the data and information in relation to this project. The data of architectural drawings, elements, and background study, as well as the calligraphy details of the mosque, were actually derived from a book titled Mosque.
We will begin on the exterior of the mosque. The distinctive elements are what makes the building itself stand out. However, its most striking feature is its large blue and silver dome with a measure of 106.7 meter by height and 51.2 meter by diameter. The silver and blue of dome is which the mosque earned its sobriquet of the Blue Mosque. The features enhancing the outside of the mosque include the facilities such as the landscape, garden park, and water fountain, which are inspired by the Quranic Garden of Paradise. The use of calligraphy throughout the mosque exterior can be seen on the big blue dome and the outer part of the main entrance. Beginning off with the dome is built using aluminium and the outer surface is clad with vitreous enamel big trilateral steel panels, which are then enhanced with decorative Islamic calligraphy that surrounds the edges of the mosque dome on white marble tiles. The calligraphy written is a Quranic verse from Surah At-Tawbah written with Thuluth style, elegantly with rhythm and harmony. The color selection of letters and tile background produce contrast, hence making the letters stand out and easier to read from a distance view. Next, decorative Islamic calligraphy can also be found at the main entrance situated on the top part of the door as well as the other doors being aligned with it. There are two verses which are combined and mirrors one another in a form of a circle. The calligrapher also applies the thuluth style in these two verses. The top panel shows salawat as an invocation which Muslims make by saying specific phrases to compliment Prophet Muhammad, whereas the bottom panel shows the dua prayer upon entering the mosque and to seek forgiveness from God. And lastly, the center of the circle reads Allahumma, meaning O Allah. As for the methods and techniques, the calligraphy on the dome are laser engraved into the tiles to produce clean lines on the smooth surface of the marble, whereas the calligraphy on the main entrance applies the painting technique.
Let's take a look at the application of calligraphy in the mosque interior. There are 5 scripts of Quranic verses calligraphy written on the Qibla wall, which is located in the center of the main prayer hall. The first one can be found at the top of the Qibla wall, which is calligraphed in the style of Thuluth Tarkibi. This calligraphy style depicts verse 144 in Surah Al-Baqarah, and it is made of blue elegant letters with a white marble background. Following that, 2 crescent-shaped verses of the Quranic script are positioned to the left and right of the calligraphy. The crescents are both calligraphed in Thuluth script style with the entire verses of Surah Al-Ikhlas from verse 1 to verse 4. To enhance the ornamentation's aesthetic value, the Kalima Allah is written on top of the right crescent, while the Kalima Muhammad is written on the left crescent. The hierarchy of this calligraphy can be seen from the center of the Qibla wall, where a Quranic verse was produced to complete the first verse placed at the top of the Qibla wall. The calligraphy, which is larger than the other 4 scripts, is written in Thuluth style and portrays Surah Al-Baqarah verse 144. This calligraphy verse is again continued by the Quranic verses written at the center of the mihrab, which is calligraphed in Thuluth script. All of the Islamic calligraphy's inscription applied on the mihrab wall will help to draw the attentions of the congregants to the direction of Mecca and Masjid al-Haram. Adding to that, there are 5 panels of selected verses in various styles of Islamic calligraphy decorated on the left and the right sides of the mihrab. All of these panels each conveys Surah Al-Fatiha, Surah An-Nas, Surah Al-Falaq, and Surah Al-Ikhlas. These Quranic verses are inscribed using varieties of Islamic calligraphy styles, which include the Nasa style, Nastaliq, Sulus Al-Jali, Ruka'ah, and Diwani script. These 5 panels which guard the Qibla wall are shaped like an arch, distinguish the main prayer hall, and demonstrate the aesthetic value through the symmetry of the panels. Not only that, the surface of the main dome is also adorned with Islamic calligraphy. Surah Yasin has been chosen to be calligraphed in the Thuluth script style on the inner curve of the dome. The calligraphy work was executed by the Egyptian calligrapher Sheikh Abdul Munim Muhammad Ali al-Sharqawi.
Islamic calligraphy has been continually developed and widely applied as Islamic ornamentation throughout history, particularly in mosque design. Now, we will see the comparison between the application of Islamic calligraphy in the exterior and interior of Sultan Salahuddin Abdul Aziz Shah Mosque in Shah Alam and Seri Sendayan Mosque in Negeri Sembilan. Based on the comparison, Seri Sendayan Mosque has more application of Islamic calligraphy on the exterior and the interior part. They are more focused on implementing the calligraphy through the detailing of the mosque, such as on the facade design, the entrance design and window facade design, and lighting effect for the exterior. In contrast with Sultan Salahuddin Abdul Aziz Shah Mosque, the placement of the calligraphy at the focal spot of the mosque, such as the dome and the entrance, is enough to make it stand out despite the application is not as much as Seri Sendayan Mosque. The inner dome, mihrab, facade design and Qibla wall of both mosques share some similarities in terms of interior calligraphy placement. However, because the construction of the Seri Sendayan Mosque includes more Islamic characteristics like mukarnas, they have more options to decorate it with Islamic calligraphy. Nevertheless, the interior calligraphy of Sultan Salahuddin Abdul Aziz Shah Mosque still stands out because of the larger size and the contrast between the bold color used for the calligraphy and the background make it able to see from afar. Due to the abundance of calligraphy application in both mosque design, Islamic calligraphy is quite prevalent. Despite the variety of script used, the main style of Sultan Salahuddin Abdul Aziz Shah Mosque is Thuluth script, whereas the variety of script used in Seri Sendayan Mosque is quite bad, with Gothic script, Thuluth script, Muhakkak script. Despite the fact that the applications are not similar, both mosques have their own distinct style and approach to making the calligraphy stand out and be the focal point of the design.
Mosques play a huge and significant role in the development of the Islamic world. The architectural and ornamental details of mosques in Islamic history have evolved with time. This includes the use of calligraphy and mosque decorations. The display of calligraphy in mosques manages to tell a story about the mosque itself. To conclude, this project has definitely helped as students understand further on the applications of Islamic calligraphy in public buildings and how truly diverse the art is.